When 10-year-old Zara Thompson's basketball rolled across a fancy hotel lobby and stopped at Michael Jordan's feet, she had no idea her life was about to change forever. Hungry and tired, Zara accidentally told the basketball legend she hadn't eaten since yesterday. What happened? Next shocked everyone in the room. Michael Jordan didn't just buy her lunch. He created an entire scholarship program in her name. But why did Jordan care so much about this one little girl? And what secret connection between them would leave everyone in tears when finally revealed? Zara Thompson stood on her tiptoes and pulled open the refrigerator door. The cool air hit her face, but there wasn't much else inside. Just a half-empty bottle of ketchup, some butter, and a carton with only one egg. Her stomach growled so loud she was sure the neighbors could hear it through the thin apartment walls. "Nothing there, baby girl?" Grandma Ella asked from behind her. Her voice sounded tired, like it always did after working the night shift. Zara let the door swing shut and turned around, trying to smile. "It's okay, Grandma. I'm not that hungry anyway." But that wasn't true. Zara was 10 years old, and she hadn't eaten since school lunch yesterday. That had been macaroni and cheese with a small apple. She'd eaten every bite, even though the macaroni was mushy. Grandma Ella sighed and sat down at their small kitchen table. The wooden chair creaked under her weight. "I know you're hungry, child. I am too. But payday's not till tomorrow, and we're flat broke till then." Zara nodded. This wasn't new. Sometimes the food ran out before the money came in. Grandma worked 2 jobs, cleaning rooms at the fancy Palmer Hotel downtown during the day, and stocking shelves at the corner store 3 nights a week. But it still wasn't enough, especially since the rent went up last month. "Miss Patty's sick today," Grandma Ella said, "so you'll have to come with me to the hotel." Miss Patty was their neighbor who usually watched Zara when Grandma had to work. She was old and slept a lot, but she always shared her tea cookies with Zara and let her watch the good TV channels. "Can I bring my basketball?" Zara asked. "Long as you don't bounce it inside the hotel," Grandma answered. "Mr. Wilson already warned me about bringing you there." Zara ran to her bedroom. Really, just a corner of the living room with a curtain around her bed. She reached under her pillow and pulled out her most prized possession, a worn orange basketball with black lines. Some of the grip was coming off, and it didn't bounce as high as it used to, but Zara loved it more than anything. The ball had been a gift from her mother before she got sick, before the hospital bills ate up all their savings, before Zara and Grandma Ella had to move to this tiny apartment in a part of Chicago where the streetlights were often broken. Zara tucked the ball under her arm and grabbed her notebook and pencils, if she had to sit quiet. At the hotel, at least she could draw. She mostly drew basketball courts and players soaring through the air for slam dunks. "Ready, Grandma!" she called out. Grandma Ella appeared with her cleaning uniform on, a gray dress with the Palmer Hotel logo on the pocket. She had her hair tied back with a blue scarf and dark circles under her eyes that never seemed to go away, no matter how much she slept. "Let's catch the bus," she said, checking her watch. "If we miss this one, I'll be late, and Mr. Wilson gets real mad about that." They hurried down 3 flights of stairs because the elevator was broken again. Outside, the spring air felt nice, but Zara's empty stomach made her feel dizzy as they rushed to the bus stop. On the bus, Zara leaned against Grandma's soft arm and tried not to think about food. Instead, she thought about basketball. Yesterday at school, during recess, she had made 5 baskets in a row. Even Tyler Jenkins, who always said girls couldn't play, had looked impressed. "What you thinking about, baby girl?" Grandma asked, stroking Zara's tight curls. "Basketball," Zara answered. "Coach Martinez at school says I got natural talent." Grandma Ella smiled, the kind of smile that made the tired lines around her eyes crinkle up. "Just like your mama. She could play too, you know. Was the star of her high school team." Zara knew this story by heart, but she loved hearing it anyway. "Tell me again how she got the winning point in the championship game." As Grandma told the story, Zara hugged her basketball tighter. Sometimes she felt like her mother was still with her when she played, like maybe some of her mother's talent lived inside the ball itself. The bus stopped in front of the Palmer Hotel. It was the tallest, fanciest building Zara had ever been in, with shiny revolving doors and men in red uniforms who opened car doors for people. "Remember the rules," Grandma Ella whispered as they walked in through the staff entrance. At Toit, the back. "Stay in the break room. Don't bother nobody. Don't touch nothing. And for heaven's sake, don't bounce that ball inside." "Yes, ma'am," Zara promised. The staff break room was small but clean, with a table, some chairs, and a vending machine that hummed in the corner. Zara's stomach growled again as she looked at the snacks behind the glass, but she didn't say anything. She knew Grandma didn't have a single quarter to spare. "Mr. Wilson wants me to clean the fancy suites today," Grandma explained, putting her purse in a small locker. "That means I'll be on the top floors. I'll try to check on you at lunchtime, but if I can't get away, you just sit tight, okay?" Zara nodded. "I'll be good, Grandma. I'll draw in my notebook." Grandma Ella bent down and kissed Zara's forehead. "That's my good girl. Soon as I get paid, tomorrow we'll have us a feast. Fried chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, the works." The thought made Zara's mouth water, but tomorrow seemed so far away. After Grandma left, Zara sat at the table and opened her notebook. She drew a basketball court with amazing detail, the lines, the hoop, even the backboard. Then she started drawing players. She always made them tall and strong, jumping high with the ball. But it was hard to focus when her stomach kept making noises. The vending machine seemed to be calling her name, showing off chips and candy bars she couldn't have. Zara put down her pencil and looked at her basketball instead. Maybe, just maybe, she could find somewhere quiet in this big hotel to practice a few moves. Not bouncing the ball, of course. She'd promised Grandma, but she could work on her handling skills and pretend to shoot. With her mind made up, Zara tucked her notebook into her backpack, grabbed her basketball, and headed for the door. She'd be super careful not to get Grandma in trouble. She just needed to move around a bit, to forget about how empty her stomach felt. She had no idea that leaving that break room would change her life forever. Zara peeked out into the hallway. It was empty except for a cleaning cart parked outside one of the rooms. The carpet was so thick and soft that her worn sneakers made no sound as she walked. She held her basketball close to her chest, careful not to drop it. At the end of the hall was an elevator with shiny gold doors. Zara had never been on this elevator before. Grandma always used the service elevator in the back, the one that was slow and made funny noises. But Grandma wasn't here right now. Zara pressed the button with the arrow pointing down. The elevator dinged and the doors slid open. Inside, mirrors covered all the walls, making it look like there were 100 Zaras, all holding basketballs. She giggled at her reflection, then pressed the button marked L for lobby. The elevator moved so smoothly, Zara barely felt it drop. When the doors opened again, she stepped into a world that looked like something from a movie. The hotel lobby was huge, with ceilings higher than Zara could believe. Crystal chandeliers hung down like frozen rain. The floor was made of shiny marble that reflected the light. People in fancy clothes walked around, talking on phones or sitting in big soft chairs. Zara felt small and out of place in her faded jeans and yellow t-shirt. She clutched her basketball tighter and tried to find a quiet corner where she wouldn't be noticed. Near a large potted plant, she found a little alcove with a bench. It was partly hidden behind a big column, so hotel staff probably wouldn't see her there. Perfect! Sitting down, Zara placed her basketball in her lap and watched the fancy people. A woman walked by wearing shoes that sparkled like they were made from stars. A man in a suit that looked softer than Zara's pillow talked loudly about closing $1 million deal. Zara's empty stomach growled again, and she pressed the basketball against it to muffle the sound. Across the lobby was a restaurant where people were eating foods Zara couldn't even name. The smells made her mouth water, and her stomach hurt. Even more. To distract herself, she pulled out her notebook and started drawing again. This time, she drew. The hotel lobby, with its grand chandeliers and marble floors. She added herself. A tiny figure in the corner with a basketball. After a while, Zara noticed something different happening in the lobby. The staff were rushing around, straightening cushions and whispering to each other. A man in a fancy uniform was polishing the front desk over and over, even though it already looked clean enough to eat off of. "He's coming any minute," Zara heard someone say. "Everything needs to be perfect." Who's coming? She wondered, but didn't dare ask anyone. A hotel worker hurried past her hiding spot, carrying a vase of fresh flowers so big that he could barely see over it. He didn't notice Zara, which was good. She knew she shouldn't be there. The atmosphere in the lobby changed, becoming charged with excitement. Even the guests seemed to feel it, looking toward the entrance more often, straightening their clothes. Zara's curiosity got the better of her. She stood up, still holding her basketball, and stepped out from behind the column for a better look. That's when she noticed a small area near the edge of the lobby, where the marble floor gave way to polished wood. It wasn't a full court, just a small open space, but the wood reminded her of a basketball court. Without thinking, Zara walked over to the wooden floor. It was so clean and smooth. Before she could stop herself, she placed her basketball on the ground and gave it the gentlest bounce, catching it quickly before it could make much noise. The feel of the ball coming back to her hands was like magic. She did it again, a tiny bounce, barely making a sound. No one seemed to notice. Feeling braver, Zara tried a few silent handling moves, turning the ball over in her hands, passing it from one hand to the other behind her back. These were moves she'd practiced for hours at the park, moves she'd seen the pros do on TV. She forgot about being hungry. She forgot about being in a place where she didn't belong. For a moment, it was just Zara and her basketball, dancing together on a patch of wooden floor in the fanciest place she'd ever been. Then she tried a move that was still new to her, a between-the-legs dribble that Coach Martinez had shown her last week. The ball slipped from her fingers. Zara gasped as her precious basketball hit the floor with a loud bounce and rolled across the lobby. People turned to look. A security guard started walking in her direction. "Oh no," she whispered, frozen in place. The basketball rolled faster than Zara could move, heading straight for the hotel's main entrance. Just then, the large glass doors swung open. A group of important-looking people walked in, talking among themselves. Zara's basketball kept rolling, as if drawn by some invisible force. It crossed the last stretch of marble and bumped gently against a shiny black shoe. The shoe belonged to the tallest man Zara had ever seen. He stopped talking mid-sentence and looked down. The entire lobby went quiet. Everyone was watching. Zara wanted to disappear. She wanted to run back to the staff break room and hide under the table, but her feet wouldn't move. The tall man bent down and picked up her basketball, turning it over in his massive hands. Then he looked up, scanning the lobby until his eyes found Zara. And that's when she realized who was holding her basketball. It was Michael Jordan himself. Zara's heart seemed to stop beating. Her mouth went dry. The greatest basketball player who ever lived was holding her worn-out basketball, looking right at her. Mr. Jordan wore a perfectly tailored dark blue suit that made his tall frame look even more impressive. His bald head gleamed under the lobby. Lights. On his wrist was a watch that probably cost more than all the furniture in Zara and Grandma Ella's apartment. People around the lobby were whispering and pointing. Some pulled out phones to take pictures. The hotel manager rushed forward, looking nervous. "Mr. Jordan, sir, I apologize for this disruption," the manager said, glaring at Zara. "I'll have security remove." But Michael Jordan held up his hand, and the manager instantly fell silent. "Is this your basketball?" Mr. Jordan asked, his deep voice carrying across the lobby. He was talking to Zara, ignoring everyone else. Zara couldn't speak. Her feet felt glued to the floor. All she could do was nod. Mr. Jordan looked at the ball in his hands, turning it over, examining the worn grip and faded lines. Then he did something completely unexpected. He smiled. It was a warm smile that lit up his whole face. He bounced the ball once on the marble floor. The sound echoed through the hushed lobby. "Nice ball," he said. "Looks like it's seen a lot of play." Zara found her voice, though it came out as barely more than a whisper. "Yes, sir." Mr. Jordan took a few steps toward her, still holding her basketball. The crowd of people who had entered with him, men in suits and women with clipboards, waited respectfully. "You play?" he asked Zara. "Every day," she managed to answer. "At the park near my house, and at school." Mr. Jordan nodded, looking impressed. "Every day, huh? That's how you get good." He bounced the ball again, then spun it on one finger with casual ease, a move Zara had tried 100 times but never mastered. Then he did something even more surprising. He bounced the ball back to Zara. She caught it automatically, her hands remembering what to do even while her brain was still frozen in disbelief. "What's your name?" Mr. Jordan asked. "Zara," she said, holding the ball tight against her chest. "Zara Thompson." "Well, Zara Thompson," he said, "you've got good hands. That was a nice catch." A woman with short blonde hair and glasses stepped forward from Mr. Jordan's group. "Mr. Jordan, we're already running 5 minutes behind schedule. The charity meeting." Mr. Jordan nodded but didn't take his eyes off Zara. "What team do you play for, Zara?" "I don't play for a real team," she admitted. "Just at school. My grandma can't afford the league fees." As soon as the words left her mouth, Zara wished she could take them back. She hadn't meant to say that, part out loud. But Mr. Jordan didn't seem to mind. "School ball is real ball," he said seriously. "Some of the best games I ever played were in school gyms." The hotel manager was still hovering nearby, looking like he might faint. "Mr. Jordan, sir, I don't know how this child got into the lobby. She must have wandered away from—" "She's not bothering anyone," Mr. Jordan said firmly. The manager immediately backed off. Zara couldn't believe what was happening. Here she was, talking to Michael Jordan, and he was being nice to her. Was this a dream? "Who's your favorite player?" Mr. Jordan asked. "Besides me, of course." He winked, and Zara felt herself relax a little. "Candace Parker," Zara answered immediately, "and Sue Bird." "Good choices," Mr. Jordan nodded, looking genuinely impressed. "Both champions. Both work harder than anyone else on the court." Zara couldn't help adding, "And you, of course. My mom had all your games on DVD. We used to watch them together before she—" Her voice trailed off. Something changed in Mr. Jordan's expression then. It softened, became more serious. "Your mom's not around anymore?" he asked gently. Zara shook her head. "She got sick 3 years ago. Now it's just me and Grandma Ella." Mr. Jordan was quiet for a moment. The lobby seemed to fade away, like it was just the two of them talking. "I lost my dad," he said quietly. "It's hard, but I bet your mom would be proud, seeing you still playing the game you loved together." Zara felt tears coming but blinked them back. Basketball players didn't cry, especially not in front of their heroes. "What position do you play?" Mr. Jordan asked, changing the subject like he knew Zara needed him to. "Point guard mostly," she answered, standing a bit taller. "Coach says I have good court vision." "The most important position," Mr. Jordan said seriously, "the point guard is like the coach on the floor. You have to be smart, not just skilled." The blonde woman was back at Mr. Jordan's elbow. "Sir, the meeting really can't wait any longer." Mr. Jordan sighed. "Duty calls." He looked at Zara again. "It was nice meeting you, Zara Thompson." "Nice meeting you too, Mr. Jordan," Zara managed to say, still clutching her basketball like it was made of gold now that he had touched it. As Mr. Jordan turned to leave with his group, Zara's empty stomach suddenly let out the loudest growl she had ever heard. The sound seemed to echo off the marble floors and high ceilings. Mr. Jordan stopped and turned back. Everyone in the lobby heard it. Zara wanted to disappear into the floor. "Sorry," she mumbled, her face burning with embarrassment. "I haven't eaten since yesterday." As soon as the words left her mouth, Zara realized how bad they sounded. What would Grandma Ella say? You didn't tell strangers your business, especially not your money troubles. But instead of looking embarrassed for her or pretending not to hear, Mr. Jordan's expression changed. He looked concerned. "Since yesterday?" he repeated. "You're hungry?" Before Zara could think of what to say, the words tumbled out of her mouth. "I'm really hungry, Mr. Jordan. We don't have food at home." The lobby went completely silent. The hotel manager looked horrified. The blonde woman stopped checking her watch. And Michael Jordan went very still, studying Zara's face like he was trying to read something written there. After what felt like forever, he turned to the hotel manager. "Change of plans," he said. "The meeting can wait." The hotel manager's mouth dropped open. The blonde woman with the clipboard looked shocked. "But sir," she protested, "the foundation board members are already waiting in the conference room. They've flown in from all over the country." Mr. Jordan nodded. "Tell them I'll be there in 30 minutes. Something important just came up." He looked at Zara. "Very important." Zara couldn't believe her ears. Was Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan, saying that she was more important than a meeting with important people? The manager stepped forward nervously. "Mr. Jordan, if there's a problem with one of our staff's children—" "There's no problem," Mr. Jordan interrupted, "except that this young lady is hungry, and I'd like to buy her lunch." Zara's eyes went wide. Lunch? With Michael Jordan? This couldn't be real. But, sir, the manager continued, the child shouldn't be in the lobby at all. Our staff break room is... Is your restaurant open? Mr. Jordan asked, pointing to the fancy dining room Zara had been staring at earlier. Yes, of course, but... Then please have a table prepared for 2, Mr. Jordan said firmly, and find out who this young lady's grandmother is. We'll need her permission. The manager nodded quickly and hurried away, talking into a small radio clipped to his jacket. Mr. Jordan turned back to Zara. I hope you like hotel food, he said, with a smile. Zara smiled back shyly. I've never had it before. Well, I eat in too many hotels, Mr. Jordan said. Trust me, this place has the best burger in Chicago. A burger. Zara's mouth watered at the thought. She hadn't had a burger in months. But then worry hit her. Grandma Ella's gonna be mad, she said. I was supposed to stay in the break room. Let me handle your grandmother, Mr. Jordan said kindly. I'm pretty good at talking to people. Zara giggled despite her nervousness. Of course he was good at talking to people. He was Michael Jordan. Everyone in the world wanted to talk to him. The manager returned, looking less unhappy now. We have a table ready in the private dining section, Mr. Jordan, and we've located the child's grandmother. She's on her way down from the 12th floor. Perfect, Mr. Jordan said. He looked at Zara. Shall we? Zara nodded, still clutching her basketball. As they walked toward the restaurant, people stared and whispered. Some took pictures with their phones. Should I put my ball somewhere? Zara asked quietly. It might be dirty. Mr. Jordan shook his head. Never leave your ball behind. That's rule number 1. As they entered the restaurant, a waiter in a crisp white shirt and black bow tie led them to a table in a corner, partly hidden by plants. It was set with more forks and spoons than Zara had ever seen at one place. Mr. Jordan pulled out a chair for her. Your seat, Miss Thompson. Zara carefully placed her basketball on the empty chair beside her and sat down. The chair was so soft, it felt like sitting on a cloud. Thank you, Mr. Jordan, she said, remembering her manners like Grandma Ella had taught her. You can call me Michael, he said, sitting across from her. Really? Zara couldn't imagine calling him by his first name. It seemed impossible. Really, he confirmed. All my friends do. Friends. Zara Thompson. Friends with Michael Jordan. Wait until she told everyone at school. A waiter approached with 2 large menus. Would you care for something to drink while you decide on your meals? Before Zara could say water was fine, Mr. Jordan, Michael, asked, Do you like chocolate milkshakes, Zara? Zara's eyes lit up. They're my favorite. 2 chocolate milkshakes, Michael told the waiter, and we'll need a few minutes with the menu. When the waiter left, Michael leaned forward. So, Zara Thompson, tell me about your school. What grade are you in? 5th, Zara answered. At Lincoln Elementary. Good school? It's okay, Zara shrugged. The gym is small, but we make do. Michael smiled at that. You know, I played in some pretty small gyms growing up. It's not about the court, it's about heart. Zara nodded eagerly. That's what Coach Martinez says too. She says I've got heart, but I needn't to work on my left-handed dribble. Your coach is right, Michael said seriously. Most players neglect their weak hand. I practiced with my left until it was almost as good as my right. The The waiter returned with 2 enormous chocolate milkshakes, topped with whipped cream and cherries. Zara's eyes nearly popped out of her head. She'd never seen a milkshake so big. "Go ahead," Michael encouraged her. "Don't let it melt." Zara took a long sip through the straw. The cold, creamy chocolate was the most delicious thing she had ever tasted. She couldn't help but close her eyes in delight. When she opened them, Michael was watching her with a gentle expression. "Good?" "Amazing," Zara breathed. She took another sip, trying to go slower this time to make it last. "Now," Michael said, opening his menu. "What are you hungry for? They make everything here." Zara looked at her menu and immediately felt lost. There were so many foods she'd never heard of, with names she couldn't pronounce. And the prices! She quickly closed the menu, feeling overwhelmed. "Maybe just a small sandwich," she suggested quietly. "I don't need much." Michael studied her for a moment. "Zara, can I ask you something?" She nodded. "How often do you not have enough to eat at home?" Zara looked down at the tablecloth. This was the kind of question Grandma Ella would say was too personal. But something about Michael made her want to tell the truth. "Sometimes," she admitted, "Grandma works real hard, but rent is expensive, and after Mom's hospital bills," she trailed off. "We're okay, though. Grandma says things will get better soon." Michael nodded thoughtfully. "Your grandmother sounds like a strong woman." "The strongest," Zara agreed. "She works 2 jobs, and her back hurts all the time, but she never complains." "And what about you?" Michael asked. "School going okay, besides basketball?" "I get good grades," Zara said. "Math is my best subject. I like figuring out problems." "That explains why you're a good point guard," Michael nodded. "It's all about solving problems on the court." The waiter returned. "Are you ready to order?" Michael looked at Zara. "How about we get a few things to share? That way you can try different foods." Zara nodded eagerly. "We'll have the burger sliders, the chicken tenders, some fries, and the fresh fruit plate," Michael told the waiter. "And maybe some of that mac and cheese I saw on another table." "Excellent choices, sir," the waiter said, collecting their menus. After he left, Zara asked shyly, "Can I ask you something, Mr. Jordan? I mean, Michael?" "Anything," he replied. Zara took a deep breath. This was her one chance to ask the IBE greatest basketball player ever for advice. "The boys at school say I can't make it to the pros because I'm a girl, but I want to play in the WNBA someday. Do you think I can?" Michael didn't answer right away. He looked at her seriously, like he was really thinking about his answer. "Zara," he finally said, "let me tell you something important. The people who make it aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who work the hardest and never give up. If you love basketball enough to practice every day, even when you're hungry, that tells me something about who you are." He leaned forward. "So my answer is yes, you can make it. But it won't be because you're a girl or not a girl. It'll be because you're Zara Thompson, and you refuse to let anything stop you." Zara felt something warm spreading through her chest. It wasn't just the milkshake or the promise of food coming. It was something bigger. Something like hope. Then a familiar voice called her name. "Zara Mae Thompson, what in the world are you doing?" Grandma Ella had arrived. She stood at the entrance to the restaurant section, still in her gray hotel cleaning uniform, her eyes wide with shock. The blue scarf around her hair was slightly crooked, like she had rushed down in a hurry. "Grandma!" Zara called, torn between excitement and worry. "Look who I'm having lunch with!" Grandma Ella didn't move. She stared at Michael Jordan, then at Zara, then back at Michael again. Her hand went to her heart. "Oh, my stars," she whispered. Michael stood up politely. "Mrs. Thompson, I'm Michael Jordan. Please join us." Grandma Ella looked like she might faint. A waiter quickly brought another chair, placing it beside Zara. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Jordan," Grandma Ella said, finding her voice. "I don't know what got into this child. She knows better than to bother important people." She turned to Zara. "What were you thinking, young lady? Leaving the break room after I specifically told you?" "It's entirely my fault," Michael interrupted, smoothly. "Your granddaughter's basketball rolled my way, and I insisted on meeting the young player it belonged to." He smiled warmly. "Please, sit down." Grandma Ella hesitated, but slowly sank into the chair. She looked completely out of place in her work uniform among the fancy tablecloths and crystal glasses. "Zara told me she was hungry," Michael continued, "so I thought we could all have lunch together." Grandma Ella's expression shifted from shock to embarrassment. "That wasn't necessary, sir. We're fine. Zara sometimes exaggerates." "Grandma, look!" Zara interrupted, pointing at her half-finished milkshake. "It's the best thing I ever tasted." The waiter chose that moment to arrive with their food. He set down plates of burger sliders, golden chicken tenders, a mountain of crispy fries, creamy mac and cheese, and a beautiful arrangement of fresh fruit. The delicious smells made Zara's mouth water all over again. "I ordered a variety for us to share," Michael explained to Grandma Ella. "Please, help yourself." Grandma Ella looked at the food, then at her watch. "I'm still on shift, sir. Mr. Wilson will—" "I've already spoken with the hotel manager," Michael said. "You're on a special assignment, right now. Having lunch?" "With me." He grinned. "I'm told I'm a VIP guest." Zara giggled. Michael Jordan was funny, too. Slowly, Grandma Ella relaxed a little. The waiter brought her a glass of iced tea, and Michael encouraged her to try the food. Zara was already munching happily on a chicken tender, trying hard to remember her manners and not stuff too much in her mouth at once. "This is real good, Grandma," she said between bites. "Try some." Grandma Ella finally took a small burger, slider. As she ate, some of the tension left her shoulders. "So, Mrs. Thompson," Michael said conversationally, "Zara tells me you're raising her on your own. That can't be easy." Grandma Ella straightened in her chair. "We manage just fine, Mr. Jordan. I've been at this hotel 5 years now, and I work part-time at Miller's Corner Store, too." "2 jobs," Michael nodded. "That's a lot of hard work." "We do what we have to do," Grandma Ella said with quiet dignity. Then, as if she couldn't help herself, she added, "My daughter, Zara's mother, she got sick with cancer. The treatments, son, took everything we had, but we lost her anyway. Medical bills don't go away just because." Her voice caught. Zara reached for her grandmother's hand under the table. They didn't talk about Mom much at home. It made Grandma too sad. "I'm very sorry for your loss," Michael said softly. "I know how hard that is." Something in his voice made Grandma Ella look up. "Yes, I suppose you do. I remember reading about your father." Michael nodded. "Loss changes everything," he said simply. For a moment, the three of them were quiet, connected by an understanding that went beyond words. Then Michael smiled again. "But your granddaughter is quite something, Mrs. Thompson. She knows a lot about basketball. Says she practices every day." Grandma Ella's face softened with pride. Just like her mother, My Lisa was team captain in high school. Got a partial scholarship to college too, before she had to drop out when Zara came along. She patted Zara's hand, but she never regretted it. Said Zara was her greatest achievement. Mama used to play with me at the park, Zara added, her mouth full of macaroni and cheese. She taught me how to dribble when I was 4. And now you're teaching yourself, Michael observed. That shows character. Grandma Ella looked at Michael curiously. May I ask why you're being so kind, too? Us, Mr. Jordan? You must meet thousands of children. Michael took a moment before answering, sipping his water. Sometimes, Mrs. Thompson, people come into our lives for a reason. He looked at Zara. Your granddaughter reminds me of myself at her age. Hungry. Not just for food, but for the game. Zara beamed at this comparison, her chest swelling with pride. Plus, Michael added with a grin, she has excellent taste in basketball players. She named Candace Parker and Sue Bird as her favorites. He winked at Zara. And me, of course. He said I could call him Michael, Grandma, Zara said excitedly. And he thinks I could make it to the WNBA someday. Grandma Ella raised an eyebrow. Did he now? I said with hard work and dedication, anything is possible, Michael clarified. And I meant it. The food was disappearing quickly, mostly into Zara's stomach. She couldn't remember the last time she'd eaten so well. The fresh strawberries and melon from the fruit plate tasted so sweet and juicy, nothing like the bruised apples they sometimes got at the food bank. As they ate, Zara told Michael more about school and her basketball practices. Grandma Ella gradually relaxed, adding stories about Zara's determination, like the time she practiced free throws in the rain because she'd missed the winning shot in a school game. That's what separates champions from everyone else, Michael said approvingly. The willingness to put in work when no one's watching. When most of the food was gone, Michael checked his watch. I should probably head to my meeting soon, he said. Those foundation folks have been patient. Zara felt a pang of disappointment. She didn't want this magical lunch to end. What kind of foundation, if you don't mind me asking? Grandma Ella inquired. It's called Wings for Dreams, Michael explained. We provide sports opportunities, education support, and mentoring for kids who might not otherwise have access. That sounds wonderful, Grandma Ella said sincerely. It's important work, Michael agreed. When I was growing up, I had coaches and teachers who believed in me. Not every kid is that lucky. He looked thoughtfully at Zara for a moment, then reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small case. From it, he took a business card and handed it to Grandma Ella. This has my agent's direct number, he said. I'd like to keep in touch about Zara's progress, if that's all right with you. Grandma Ella stared at the card like it might disappear. Mr. Jordan, that's very generous, but I have a feeling about your granddaughter, Mrs. Thompson, Michael said. Basketball instincts, you could call it. I'd like to see where her talent takes her. Zara could hardly breathe. Michael Jordan wanted to keep in touch? About her? The blonde woman with the clipboard suddenly appeared at their table. Mr. Jordan, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but the board is getting restless. Senator Williams has another appointment in an hour. Michael nodded. Tell them I'm on my way. He turned back to Zara and Grandma Ella. Duty calls. Of course, Grandma Ella said, standing up. We've taken too much of your valuable time already. Not at all, Michael said warmly. This was the best part of my day. He looked at Zara and held out his hand for a proper handshake. Zara placed her small hand in his large one, feeling the strength in his grip. "Remember what I said, Zara Thompson," he told her seriously. "Practice your left hand. Study the game. And never, ever let anyone tell you what you can't do." "Yes, sir," Zara promised, her eyes shining. Michael leaned closer and lowered his voice. "And make sure you and your grandmother take some of those desserts to go." He nodded toward a tray of pastries the waiter had just brought. "The chocolate cake is legendary." Zara giggled and nodded. As Michael turned to leave, Grandma Ella called after him softly, "Mr. Jordan?" He paused. "Thank you," she said simply, "not just for the meal, but for being kind." Michael smiled, a warm, genuine smile that Zara knew she would remember forever. "It was my pleasure, Mrs. Thompson," he said. "Truly." Then he was gone, surrounded by his entourage as they hurried toward the conference rooms. Zara looked at her grandmother, still clutching her precious basketball. "Did that really just happen, Grandma?" Grandma Ella shook her head in wonder. "I believe it did, child." Neither of them knew that this unexpected meal was just the beginning. The waiter approached their table after Michael Jordan left. "Mr. Jordan has taken care of everything," he said with a respectful nod. "He also arranged for these to be packed up for you to take home." He gestured to the remaining food and the tray of desserts. Grandma Ella started to protest, but Zara squeezed her hand. "Thank you," Grandma said, instead. As the waiter carefully packed everything into fancy boxes with the hotel logo, Grandma Ella sat very still, staring at the business card in her hand. Zara could tell she was thinking hard about something. "RDD, you mad at me, Grandma?" Zara asked quietly. "For leaving the break room?" Grandma Ella sighed and tucked the card safely into her uniform pocket. "I should be," she admitted. "But how can I be mad when my granddaughter just had lunch with Michael Jordan?" She shook her head in disbelief. "Wait till Patty hears about this. She'll think I made the whole thing up." Zara grinned. "We can show her the leftovers as proof." "Choo-choo." Waiter returned with 2 large bags of food. "Here you are, Mrs. Thompson. There's enough for several meals." He seemed impressed, like he wasn't used to seeing hotel staff being treated. "This way." "I need to get back to work," Grandma Ella said, standing up. "Mr. Wilson will be wondering where I am, even with Mr. Jordan's permission." "I'll come with you," Zara said, picking up her basketball and one of the food bags. As they walked through the lobby toward the service elevator, Zara noticed people looking at them curiously. Word had obviously spread about the little girl who had lunch with the famous basketball player. In the service elevator, Grandma Ella was quiet. She kept touching the pocket where she had put Michael Jordan's card, as if making sure it was still there. "What's wrong, Grandma?" Zara asked. Grandma Ella gave her a small smile. "Nothing's wrong, baby girl. I'm just thinking." When they reached the 12th floor, Grandma's supervisor, Mr. Wilson, was waiting. He was a short man with thinning hair who always smelled like cigarettes. "Ella, where have you been?" he demanded. "You left 3 rooms unfinished." "I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson," Grandma Ella began. "Mr. Jordan asked to speak with me about—" "Mr. Jordan, is it?" Mr. Wilson raised his eyebrows. "On a first-name basis with the celebrities now, are we?" "No, sir, What's in the bags?" he interrupted, eyeing the food. "Mr. Jordan bought us lunch," Zara spoke up, not liking the way Mr. Wilson was talking to her. grandmother. Mr. Wilson looked at Zara like he'd just noticed her. "You shouldn't be on this floor, kid. Staff children, stay in the break room." "Yes, sir," Zara mumbled. "I'll take her back down," Grandma Ella said quickly, "and then finish those rooms right away." "See that you do," Mr. Wilson said. "Celebrity lunch or not, we've got a hotel to run." In the elevator going back down, Grandma Ella let out a long breath. "That man," she muttered, under her breath. "He's not very nice," Zara observed. "He's the boss," Grandma said simply. "And we need this job." Back in the staff break room, Grandma Ella stored most of the food in the refrigerator, marking the boxes with their name. "I've got to get back to work now," she told Zara. "You stay put this time, you hear me? No more wandering around the lobby." "Yes, Grandma," Zara promised. "But can I tell you something first?" "What is it, baby?" "I think this was the best day of my life," Zara said, hugging her basketball. Grandma Ella's eyes softened. She bent down and kissed Zara's forehead. "It was something special, wasn't it?" After Grandma left, Zara sat at the table in the break room, drawing in her notebook. But instead of basketball courts, now she drew Michael Jordan holding her basketball, with his big smile just the way she remembered it. The afternoon passed slowly. Other hotel staff came and went, looking curiously at Zara. Some had heard about her lunch with the famous guest and asked questions. Zara enjoyed telling the story, though each time she told it, it seemed more unbelievable. Finally, at 5 o'clock, Grandma Ella returned. She looked tired, but there was something else in her expression that Zara couldn't quite read. "Ready to go home, baby girl?" she asked. Zara nodded and gathered her things. They collected their food from the refrigerator, and Grandma Ella signed, "Out for the day." On the bus ride home, they sat quietly. Zara was still thinking about everything that had happened, replaying Michael Jordan's words in her head. "Never let anyone tell you what you can't do." When they reached their apartment building, they climbed the 3 flights of stairs as usual. But inside their apartment, Grandma Ella did something unusual. Instead of starting dinner right away, she sat down on their worn sofa and patted the spot beside her. "Come sit with me, Zara," she said. "We need to talk." Zara sat down, still holding her basketball. She never let it out of her sight these days, and now that Michael Jordan had touched it, she was even more protective of it. "Is something wrong, Grandma?" she asked again. Grandma Ella sighed. "Not wrong exactly, but I'm worried." "About what?" "About getting our hopes up," Grandma said softly. "About Michael Jordan and his business card and all those promises." Zara frowned. "But he seemed really nice, and he said he wanted to keep in touch about my basketball." "I know he did, baby," Grandma said, stroking Zara's hair, "and I believe he meant it at the time. But people like that, famous people, rich people, they meet so many people every day. They make promises they forget about as soon as they're on to the next thing." Zara's heart sank. "You think he already forgot about us?" "I think," Grandma said carefully, "that we should be grateful for today, for the wonderful lunch, for meeting your basketball hero, for the food we brought home. But we shouldn't expect anything more." Zara looked down at her basketball. "He said I reminded him of himself when he was young." "And maybe you did," Grandma said. "That's a wonderful compliment. But Zara, I don't want you to be disappointed if nothing else comes of this. We need to keep living our lives just like before." "But he gave you his card," Zara protested, with his agent's number on it. Grandma Ella pulled the card from her pocket and looked at it. "I know, baby, and maybe I'll call it someday, but not right away. We need to give it some time." "How kooky, much time?" "I don't know," Grandma admitted. "I just don't want either of us getting hurt. We've had enough disappointment in our lives." Zara could tell her grandmother was thinking about her mother, about all the treatments that didn't work, all the doctors who had given them hope only to take it away again. "I understand, Grandma," she said quietly. Grandma Ella pulled her into a hug. "You're a good girl, Zara Thompson. The best granddaughter anyone could ask for. No matter what happens or doesn't happen with Michael Jordan, don't you ever forget how special you are." "I won't," Zara promised. That night, they ate the hotel food for dinner. The burger sliders were still delicious even when cold, and the chocolate cake was as amazing as Michael Jordan had said it would be. They had enough food for at least 3 more meals, which would help until Grandma got paid tomorrow. Before bed, Zara placed her basketball carefully on the shelf beside her bed. She thought about everything that had happened that day, how her ball had rolled across the lobby floor, and changed everything. As she drifted off to sleep, she wondered if Michael Jordan really would remember them, or if Grandma was right, and they would just become another forgotten encounter in his busy, famous life. What Zara didn't know was that at that very moment, Michael Jordan was sitting in his hotel suite, making a phone call about a little girl with big dreams and an old basketball. "I want to see what she can do," he was saying into his phone. "Set it up for tomorrow afternoon." 3 days later, Zara was at school, trying to pay attention to her math lesson, but her mind kept drifting back to her lunch with Michael Jordan. She'd told her friends about it, of course, but most of them didn't believe her. Even her best friend Tamika looked doubtful. "If you really met Michael Jordan," Tamika had said during recess, "then why didn't you get his autograph?" Zara didn't have an answer for that. It hadn't even occurred to her to ask for an autograph. She'd been too busy talking about basketball and eating the delicious food. The classroom phone rang, interrupting the teacher. Mrs. Rivera answered it, listened for a moment, then looked at Zara. "Zara, you're wanted in the principal's office," she said. A few kids went, "Ooh," as they always did when someone got called to the office. Zara's stomach tightened. Was she in trouble? Had someone complained about her telling lies about meeting Michael Jordan? She walked slowly down the hall to the office, clutching her notebook. When she arrived, Miss Chen, the school secretary, smiled at her. "Go right in, Zara. They're waiting for you." They? Who was they? Zara pushed open the door to Principal Turner's office and froze, sitting in one of the chairs. Across from the principal's desk was her grandmother, and next to her was a tall, athletic-looking woman Zara had never seen before. "There she is," Principal Turner said cheerfully. "Zara, your grandmother is here to pick you up early today. You have a special appointment." Grandma Ella looked both nervous and excited. "Come in, baby girl," she said. "There's someone I want you to meet." The tall woman stood up and held out her hand to Zara. She had smooth brown skin and wore athletic clothes with a logo Zara didn't recognize. "Hello, Zara," she said. "I'm Coach Denise Williams. I work with a special basketball program for young players, and I'd like to see what you can do." Zara shook the woman's hand, feeling confused. "A basketball program?" "We can explain in the car," Grandma Ella said. "We need to get going." 10 minutes later, Zara was sitting in the back seat of a shiny black car with tinted windows. The driver was a man in a suit who hadn't said a word. Coach Williams sat in front beside him, while Grandma Ella sat in the cool. "Back with Zara." "What's happening, Grandma?" Zara whispered. "Where are we going?" Grandma Ella looked like she was still trying to believe it herself. "Yesterday, I got a call at work. From Michael Jordan's agent." She shook her head in wonder. "He said Mr. Jordan was impressed with you and wanted to arrange for an evaluation with a youth basketball coach." "That would be me," Coach Williams said, turning in her seat to face them. "I run Elite Horizons, a development program for promising young players." "Like a basketball camp?" Zara asked, her eyes widening. "Something like that," Coach Williams nodded, "but more personalized. We work with a select group of young athletes who show potential." "But how did you know about me?" Zara asked. "Coach." Williams smiled. "Michael Jordan called me personally, said I needed to see this kid with the worn-out basketball and the big dreams." Zara couldn't believe what she was hearing. Michael Jordan had actually remembered her. He'd made that phone call from his hotel room, just like in Grandma's suspicion and hope-laced thoughts. "Where are we going now?" she asked. "To a private gym," Coach Williams explained, "where I can see your skills without distractions." Zara suddenly realized something terrible. "But I don't have my basketball, or my gym shoes. They're at home." "It's all taken care of," Grandma Ella assured her, patting a bag at her feet that Zara hadn't noticed before. "I packed everything before coming to get you." The car turned into an area of the city Zara had never visited before. The buildings were newer, with lots of glass and steel. They pulled up to a modern-looking facility with Elite Athletic Training Center written on the front in sleek silver letters. Inside, the gym was nothing like the one at Zara's school. The floor gleamed like it was polished every day. 6 basketball hoops hung from the ceiling, all with pristine white nets. The lines on the court were crisp and bright. "You can change in there," Coach Williams said, pointing to a door marked Locker Room. In the locker room, Zara quickly put on her gym clothes and her worn-out sneakers. She felt a little embarrassed about her shoes now, seeing how fancy everything else was here. When she came out, Grandma Ella was sitting on a bench along the wall. Coach Williams stood in the center of the court holding a brand-new basketball. "Your grandmother will watch from there," she told Zara. "You and I are going to spend some time seeing what you can do." For the next hour, Coach Williams put Zara through a series of drills: dribbling, passing, shooting, defensive slides, all the key fundamentals of basketball. Zara did her absolute best, even when her arms got tired and sweat dripped into her eyes. Coach Williams didn't say much during the workout. She mostly watched, occasionally offering a quick tip or demonstration. Her face didn't give away what she was thinking. Finally, when Zara felt like her legs might give out, Coach Williams blew her whistle. "Let's take a break," she said. "Get some water." Zara gratefully accepted a cold water bottle and went to sit beside her grandmother. "You're doing great, baby girl," Grandma Ella whispered, giving her shoulder a squeeze. Coach Williams took a seat on Zara's other side. For a moment, she was quiet, just looking out at the empty court. "You've got raw talent," she finally said. "Your fundamentals need work, but there's definitely something there." Zara held her breath, waiting to hear more. "Your left hand is weaker than your right, just like Michael said," Coach Williams continued. "But Your court awareness is excellent for someone your age. You see the whole floor." "Thank you," Zara managed to say. "Here's what I'd like to do," Coach Williams said, looking not just at Zara, but at Grandma Ella too. "I want to invite Zara to join our junior development program. 2 practices a week, plus skill sessions on weekends." Zara's heart leaped in her chest, but then reality came crashing down. "We can't afford," she began. "It's a scholarship program," Coach Williams interrupted gently, "for players with potential who wouldn't otherwise have access." "Grandma," Ella frowned. "A scholarship? Just like that?" Coach Williams smiled. "Just like that. Someone believes in your granddaughter, Mrs. Thompson. Someone who knows talent when he sees it." Zara knew she was talking about Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever had seen. Something. In her, something worth investing in. "What do you think, Grandma?" Zara asked, trying not to sound too eager. "Can I do it?" Grandma Ella looked torn. "The practices. How would we get her there? We don't have a car, and bus fare across town twice a week." "Transportation is covered," Coach Williams said. "We can arrange pickup and drop-off." "And her schoolwork? Education comes first in our house." "The program includes mandatory study sessions. All our players maintain at least a B average, or they don't play." Grandma Ella was running out of objections. She looked at Zara's hopeful face and sighed. "You really want this, don't you, baby?" "More than anything, Grandma," Zara whispered. "Grandma," Ella turned back to Coach Williams. "She can try it, but if her grades slip, or if it gets to be too much." "You can pull her any time," Coach Williams assured her. "This is an opportunity, Mrs. Thompson, not an obligation." As they talked about schedules and requirements, Zara looked around the beautiful gym, hardly believing this was happening. 3 days ago, she'd been sitting in the staff break room with an empty stomach, drawing basketball courts in her notebook because she couldn't play on a real one. Now she was being offered a spot in an elite training program, all because her basketball had rolled across a hotel lobby floor and bumped against Michael Jordan's shoe. Sometimes, Zara thought, life could change in an instant. On the ride home, from the elite athletic training center, Zara couldn't stop smiling. Her first official practice would be next Tuesday after school. Coach Williams had given her a folder full of information, workout schedules, nutrition tips, and a list of items she would need. "All equipment will be provided," Coach Williams had explained. "Basketball shoes, practice clothes, everything." Now, sitting in the back of the fancy car, Zara flipped through the pages. "Look, Grandma! It says I'll get my own jersey with my name on it." Grandma Ella smiled, but Zara could tell she was still worried. "It all seems too good to be true," she said quietly. The driver dropped them off at their apartment building. As they climbed the stairs, Mr. Diaz from apartment 3B stuck his head out his door. "Ms. Thompson, there's someone waiting for you upstairs. Been there about 20 minutes?" Grandma Ella frowned. "Someone waiting? Who?" Mr. Diaz shrugged. "Fancy lady in a business suit. Said it was important." Grandma and Zara exchanged concerned looks. They hurried up the last flight of stairs and found a woman sitting on the floor outside their apartment door, working on a tablet computer. She stood up when she saw them. "Mrs. Thompson, I'm Patricia Rivera, assistant manager at the Palmer Hotel." She held out her hand. Grandma Ella shook it cautiously. "Is something wrong at work? I'm not scheduled until tomorrow." Ms. Rivera smiled. Nothing's wrong. Quite the opposite, actually. May we speak inside? Grandma unlocked the apartment. Door. Zara saw Ms. Rivera glance around at their small living space, taking in the worn furniture and the curtain that separated Zara's bedroom from the rest of the apartment. Please, have a seat, Grandma Ella offered, clearing some laundry from the couch. Ms. Rivera sat down, her crisp business suit looking out of place in their humble apartment. Mrs. Thompson, I'll get right to the point. The hotel is creating a new position, housekeeping. Supervisor for VIP services. The job involves overseeing the preparation of suites for our most important guests. It pays considerably more than your current position, and the hours would be regular, weekdays from 9 to 5. Grandma Ella's eyes widened. And you're offering this job to me? Yes, Ms. Rivera nodded. Your work record is exemplary, and you've been with us for 5 years. The position also includes comprehensive health insurance and a college savings plan. Benefit. Zara watched her grandmother's face. She looked shocked, confused, and suspicious all at once. Why now? Grandma, Ella asked. I've been applying for promotions for 3 years. Ms. Rivera shifted slightly in her seat. Let's just say that certain influential parties have suggested we review our advancement policies. We've realized that we've overlooked some of our most dedicated employees. Grandma Ella looked at Zara, then back at Ms. Rivera. This is because of Michael Jordan, isn't it? Ms. Rivera hesitated before answering. Mr. Jordan may have expressed some interest in our hotel's employment practices, but this position is being offered to you on your merits, Mrs. Thompson. Your work speaks for itself. Zara held her breath. This would mean no more night shifts at the corner store. No more waiting until payday for food. And health insurance. Grandma was always worrying about what would happen if either of them got sick. When would I start? Grandma Ella asked, and Zara knew she was going to accept. Monday, Ms. Rivera said. You'll need training, of course, but we're confident you'll excel. She handed Grandma Ella a folder similar to the one Coach Williams had given Zara. All the details are in here, including your new salary. When Grandma Ella opened the folder and saw the number, she gasped. Ms. Rivera smiled. Is that per month? Grandma asked. Per 2 weeks, Ms. Rivera corrected. As I said, it's considerably more than your current position. After Ms. Rivera left, Grandma Ella sat on the couch, staring at the folder in her hands. This is really happening, she whispered. Zara sat beside her. Are you happy, Grandma? Happy? Baby girl, Grandma's voice broke and Zara was surprised to see tears in her eyes. I've been praying for something like this for so long. That night, they celebrated with the last of the hotel food from their lunch with Michael Jordan. As they ate, they talked about all the changes coming their way. No more night shifts means I'll be home every evening, Grandma said. I can help with your homework. Maybe even come watch your basketball practices sometimes. And the health insurance means we don't have to worry if we get sick, Zara added. She'd heard her grandmother on the phone many times, arguing with collection agencies about her mother's hospital bills. That's right, Grandma nodded. And the college savings plan. Well, that's for your future. Zara thought about college. It had always seemed like an impossible dream, something for rich kids. But now... Do you think Mama would be proud? She asked suddenly. Grandma Ella reached across the table and took Zara's hand. Your Mama is proud, baby girl. Wherever she is, She's watching over you and smiling so big." Later that evening, the phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. "Hello," Grandma Ella answered cautiously. She listened for a moment, then her eyes widened. "Yes, sir. She's right here." She handed the phone to Zara. "It's for you," she whispered. "It's Michael Jordan." Zara's hands shook as she took the phone. "Hello?" "Hey, Zara Thompson." The deep, familiar voice made her heart skip. "Coach Williams tells me you did great today." Yes, sir," Zara managed to say. "Thank you for everything." "No need to thank me," Michael said. "Coach Williams knows talent when she sees it. This is all you, Zara." "And my grandmother's new job?" Zara couldn't help asking. "Was that you too?" Michael chuckled. "Let's just say I had a conversation with the hotel management about recognizing valuable employees. The rest was all your grandmother's hard work." They talked for a few more minutes about basketball. Michael gave her tips about the training program and what to expect. "It won't be easy," he warned. "Elite Horizons pushes kids hard. There will be days when you want to quit." "I won't quit," Zara promised, "no matter how hard it gets." "That's what I wanted to hear," Michael said approvingly. "I want you to make me a promise. Zara Thompson." "Anything," Zara said immediately. "Promise me you'll work as hard in school as you do on the court," he said seriously. "Basketball can open doors, but education is what keeps them open." "I promise," Zara said solemnly. "Good," Michael said. "I'll be checking in with Coach Williams about your progress. Don't let me down." "I won't, sir," Zara promised again. "Not ever." After they hung up, Zara sat on the couch, still holding the phone. Michael Jordan had called her at home. He would be checking on her progress. He believed in her. But with that belief came responsibility. She had made a promise, and she intended to keep it. What she didn't know yet was that in an office across town, Michael Jordan was making promises of his own. "I want regular updates on her progress," he told the board members of his foundation, "and I want this to be done quietly. No press, no publicity." The weeks that followed were like a dream for Zara. Every Tuesday and Thursday, a car would pick her up from school and take her to the elite athletic training center. On Saturdays, she spent the whole morning there, working with Coach Williams and the other kids in the program. There were 12 children in Zara's age group, all from different neighborhoods around Chicago. Some came from wealthy families and attended private schools. Others, like Zara, were there on scholarships. But on the court, none of that mattered. They were all just basketball players working to get better. At first, Zara felt behind. The other kids knew drills she'd never seen before. They used basketball terms she didn't understand. But she was determined not to give up. She stayed, late after every practice, asking Coach Williams questions and working on her weak spots. "Your left-handed dribble is getting stronger," Coach told her after 2 weeks. "I can see you've been practicing." Zara nodded proudly. She practiced every night in the living room, much to Grandma Ella's amusement. "You're going to bounce a TE hole right through the floor," Grandma would joke. At home, other changes were happening too. With Grandma Ella's new job, they had regular meals again. The refrigerator was never empty anymore. Grandma was home every evening, helping Zara with homework, or just sitting together watching TV, something they'd rarely had time for before. One day, about 3 weeks after Zara started the basketball program, she came home to find Grandma Ella talking to a man in a suit. "Zara, this is Mr. Nelson," Grandma said. "He's the building manager for Palmer Heights Apartments." Zara shook the man's hand, confused. Palmer Heights was a much nicer apartment complex on the other side of the neighborhood. She'd walked past it many times, admiring its clean hallways and the small playground in front. "Nice to meet you, young lady," Mr. Nelson said. "Your grandmother has just signed the lease for a 2-bedroom apartment. You'll be moving in next week." Zara's mouth fell open. "We're moving? To Palmer Heights?" Grandma Ella nodded, her eyes shining. "With my new salary, we can afford it. You'll have your own real bedroom, baby girl. No more curtain." After Mr. Nelson left, Zara helped Grandma start packing their few belongings into boxes the hotel had given her. As they worked, Zara couldn't help wondering, "Grandma, do you think Michael Jordan had something to do with us getting the new apartment?" "Two?" Grandma Ella paused, considering. "I don't think so, baby. Palmer Heights has been accepting applications all year, and we're paying fair rent. It's just that now we can finally afford a decent place." "But it all started with him," Zara insisted. "Meeting him changed everything." "It certainly was a lucky day when your basketball rolled across that lobby floor, Grandma." Twire agreed. But it wasn't just luck, Zara thought. It was something more. The move to Palmer Heights happened smoothly. Their new apartment felt enormous compared to the old one. Zara's bedroom had a real door she could close, a window that looked out onto trees instead of a brick wall, and a desk where she could do her homework. "This is just the beginning," Grandma Ella said as they ate dinner at their new dining table on their first night. "Things are looking up for the Thompson women." A week after they moved, Zara had her first basketball game with the Elite Horizons team. They played against another youth development program from the north side of the city. Zara didn't start the game, but Coach Williams put her in during the second quarter. "Show me what you've learned," Coach said as Zara stepped onto the court. Nervous but excited, Zara played her heart out. She made 2 baskets and had 3 assists. Her defense was solid, just like Coach had taught her. When the final buzzer sounded, Elite Horizons had won by 6 points. "Nice job out there," Coach Williams told her afterward. "Especially that pass to Marcus for the layup. Good court vision." Zara beamed at the praise, but even better was seeing Grandma Ella in the stands, cheering for her. With her new work schedule, Grandma could attend all of Zara's games. As they were leaving the gym, Coach Williams pulled them aside. "I got a call from someone asking about your progress," she told Zara. "Someone pretty important." Zara's heart jumped. "Was it him?" Coach Williams nodded. "Michael Jordan himself. Said he was keeping his eye on you." On the bus ride home, Zara couldn't stop grinning. "He remembered," she kept saying. "He really remembered." "Of course he did," Grandma Ella said. "You're not easy to forget, Zara Thompson." 2 months after their lunch with Michael Jordan, life had transformed so completely that sometimes Zara had to pinch herself to make sure she wasn't dreaming. Her grades were better than ever, partly because of the mandatory study sessions at Elite Horizons, but also because she was determined to keep her promise to Michael. Her basketball skills had improved dramatically. And for the first time in years, Grandma Ella didn't look exhausted all the time. One Saturday morning, after practice, Zara found Coach Williams waiting to speak with her. "I've been asked to invite you and your grandmother to an event next weekend," Coach said, handing her an elegant envelope. "What kind of event?" Zara asked, turning the envelope over in her hands. "A charity function for the Wings for Dreams Foundation," Coach explained. Michael Jordan's foundation. He specifically asked for you to be there. Zara's eyes widened. He wants me there? Why? Coach Williams smiled mysteriously. I guess you'll find out at the event. That night, Zara and Grandma Ella opened the invitation together. It was for a formal dinner at the Chicago Grand Hotel, one of the fanciest places in the city. What? Am I going to wear? Zara worried. I don't have anything nice enough. Don't worry about that, Grandma said. I'll take care of it. The next day, they went shopping at a real department store, something they'd never been able to do before. Grandma bought Zara a pretty blue dress and shiny black shoes. For herself, she chose a simple but elegant purple dress. You look beautiful, Grandma, Zara said as they looked in the mirror together. So do you, baby girl, Grandma replied, her eyes misty. Your mama would be so proud to see you now. As the day of the charity event approached, Zara grew more and more curious. Why had Michael Jordan invited them? What was going to happen? She had no idea that she was about to discover the full, arbeit extent of what had been set in motion. The day her basketball rolled across the hotel lobby floor. The night of the charity event arrived. A sleek black car picked up Zara and Grandma Ella from their new apartment. Zara wore her blue dress, and her grandmother had styled her hair in neat braids with blue ribbons. Grandma Ella looked elegant in her purple dress, with her silver hair pinned up. Remember your manners tonight, Grandma reminded Zara as the car pulled up to the Chicago Grand Hotel. This is a grown-up event. Yes, ma'am, Zara promised, smoothing her dress nervously. The hotel lobby was even grander than the Palmer Hotel, where they'd met Michael Jordan. Crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead, and the marble floor gleamed like a mirror. Well-dressed. People stood in groups, talking and laughing. A woman with a clipboard approached them. Ms. Thompson and Miss Thompson, welcome. You're seated at Table 1. Table 1? Grandma Ella repeated, sounding surprised. The woman smiled. Yes, ma'am. The host's table. They followed her into an enormous ballroom decorated with flowers and twinkling lights. Round tables filled the space, each covered with white tablecloths and fancy place settings. At the front was a stage with a podium. Table 1 was right, in front of the stage. Already seated, there were several important-looking people in expensive clothes. And standing beside the table, talking to a man in a suit, was Michael Jordan himself. He looked up as they approached and broke into a wide smile. There she is, he said, walking over to greet them. The basketball star herself. Zara felt shy suddenly, but managed to smile. Hello, Mr. Jordan. I'm glad you could make it, he said, shaking Grandma Ella's hand warmly. You both look wonderful. He led them to their seats at his table. Zara found herself sitting between her grandmother and Coach Williams, who had arrived just before them. Michael sat across from them, beside a woman he introduced as his wife. Throughout dinner, Michael made sure to include Zara and her grandmother in the conversation. He asked Zara about school and basketball, and Grandma Ella about her new position at the hotel. The VIP supervisor job is working out well? He asked. Very well, Grandma Ella nodded. I've never enjoyed work so much. After dessert was served, the lights dimmed slightly and a spotlight focused on the podium. Michael excused himself from the table and walked to the stage. The room fell silent. Good evening, everyone, he began. Thank you for coming out tonight to support the Wings for Dreams Foundation. He spoke about the foundation's work, helping children from disadvantaged backgrounds through sports, education, and mentoring programs. Zara listened intently, realizing that this was exactly what had happened to her. She was one of those children the foundation was helping. Tonight, Michael continued, I want to announce a new initiative, the Thompson Scholarship Program. Zara gasped. Had he just said Thompson? She looked at her grandmother, whose eyes were wide with shock. 3 months ago, Michael explained, I met a young girl who reminded me why I started this foundation in the first place. She had talent, determination, and heart, but limited opportunities. He looked directly at Zara. That young lady is here tonight. Zara Thompson, would you please stand up? Zara froze. Grandma Ella nudged her gently, and she rose to her feet, her knees shaking. The spotlight found her, and suddenly everyone in the room was looking at her. Zara told me she was hungry, Michael continued. A simple statement, but one that hit me hard. Hunger isn't just about food. It's about hunger for opportunity, for education, for a fair chance. The room was completely silent. Even the waiters had stopped to listen. The Thompson Scholarship will provide comprehensive support to promising young athletes facing economic barriers. Not just basketball training, but academic tutoring, college preparation, and family support services. Because talent shouldn't be limited by circumstance. Zara couldn't believe what she was hearing. A scholarship program named after her? The first recipient of the Thompson Scholarship is, of course, Zara herself, Michael said with a smile. And I'm pleased to announce that her scholarship will cover her education all the way through college. The audience broke into applause. Zara felt tears welling in her eyes. College had always seemed like an impossible dream, something far beyond their reach financially. Now it was guaranteed. Beside her, Grandma Ella was openly crying, dabbing at her eyes with a napkin. But there's one more thing I want to share tonight, Michael said, his voice growing softer. The room hushed again. When Zara told me about losing her mother, something connected with me personally. My own sister died from the same illness that took Zara's mother. Zara hadn't known this. She looked up at Michael, seeing him in a new light. Sometimes, help isn't just about writing a check, Michael continued. Sometimes it's about seeing yourself in someone else's story and knowing you can make a difference. After the speech, many people came to shake Zara's hand and congratulate her. It was overwhelming, but Michael stayed nearby, smoothly guiding. The conversations when Zara seemed lost for words. Later, in a quiet moment, Zara found the courage to ask him directly, "Why did you do all this? For us, I mean?" Michael considered her question carefully. "When I was growing up," he said, "people helped me along the way. Coaches, teachers, mentors who saw potential in me. I believe in passing that forward." He smiled at her. "And you, Zara Thompson, have something special. A fire inside you. I saw it that day in the hotel." "But naming the scholarship after me?" Zara asked, still amazed. "Your story will inspire others," Michael said simply, "just as you inspired me." As the evening wound down, Michael had one more surprise. He presented Zara with a gift, a brand new basketball, autographed by himself, and several current WNBA stars. "To replace your old one?" Grandma Ella asked as Zara admired the ball. Zara shook her head firmly. No way. I'm keeping my old ball forever. It's the one that rolled to Mr. Jordan's feet. It changed our lives. On the ride home, Zara sat quietly, the new basketball in her lap, trying to process everything that had happened. A scholarship program with her name, college guaranteed, and all because she'd been honest about being hungry that day. "You know what I keep thinking about, Grandma?" she said finally. "What's that, baby girl?" "Remember how worried you were that Mr. Jordan would forget about us? That he was just being nice for one day?" Grandma Ella chuckled softly. "I've never been so happy to be wrong." When they arrived home, Zara went straight to her room and placed the new basketball carefully on her shelf, right next to her old, worn one. The contrast between them seemed to represent the before and after of her life. As she got ready for bed, Zara thought about the most surprising part of the evening, learning that Michael Jordan's sister had died from the same illness as her mother. That connection had made their chance meeting seem less like luck and more like something meant to be. What had started as hunger had led to hope. What had begun with a basketball rolling across a floor had become a future full of possibilities. And somewhere, Zara felt certain her mother was watching and smiling. Where are you watching from today? Let us know in the comments. If Zara and Michael Jordan's story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Every subscription helps us share more stories of kindness and hope with the world. And if you enjoyed this story, click on the video appearing on your screen right now for another Tartufur. Heartwarming tale that will brighten your day. Remember, small acts of kindness, just like Michael Jordan's, can change someone's life forever.